Hi friends, welcome to the music theory teaching segment of my YouTube channel. This is something I've wanted to do for a while, and I recently just changed my major to theory and composition. So this is something I want to do. If I ever teach, I want to teach college and I want to teach music theory. It's where I feel my strongest is at regarding music, and I just love it a lot. So I need to prep myself for teaching, and I think starting a YouTube channel and doing this as a segment thing, an ongoing segment, would be a good start to my career. So right now I do not have an online whiteboard that I'll be using. So I'm going to be using Sibelius. Sibelius is a composition software that I have been using, and the reason I'm using it is because it is required by some of my classes I'm taking this semester. So in this first lesson, I will be taking it at the basics. I will be teaching notes, how it relates to the keyboard and such. I'm going to start very basic and build up, and later get into some more complicated topics relating with music theory. So let's get started. Okay, to start off, we are going to talk about face. This is face. These notes spell F, A, C, and E in bass clef. We will go to treble clef in the next minute. I won't go into clefs right now. I will save that for the next few topics, and we'll go over different clefs and such. But right now we're just focusing on notes, and this is in bass clef. So F, A, C, and E. These notes are in between the spaces. These are all of them stacked on top of each other. As you can see, they're in between the spaces. This one, it's below the line, but there is these invisible lines under here called ledger lines, but we will go over those another day. An easy way to remember this is that the notes on the space spell face. Notes on the space spell face. F, A, C, E. And this is how they sound. Now I'm going to show you what they look like in treble clef. And here they are in treble. They're a bit higher sounding, as you can see, but it still keeps the same concept. Now, the reason that this is different, see the F, it was down here on bass clef, but it moved up. That's because it is a continuous flow that I will go into next time. Just remember that differently, bass clef has the F one space below, and treble clef is right up here on the space. And so you can remember face, it's still face, and it's still face. So just remember face, and you've got them in the space. So next we have the notes on the lines. This is G, B, D, F, and A. And they're over here all stacked. Now, we used F and A previously, but from this F to this F, this is what we call an octave. It's basically the F down here. Now it's been raised to its eighth note. And we'll go into that in a little bit. But we use this to show that on all of these 5 lines, that it goes from here to here, that this F is on this line and this A is on this line. And we'll explain more in a little bit. But right now, an acronym that most band directors use that I've heard is good, G, boys, B, do, D, fine, F, A, always. Good, boys, do, fine, always. G, B, D, F, and A. For me, I like to have it spiced up. I thought that was unoriginal and kind of boring. So I made my own. If you want to follow it, sure. It's just a different little thing. Green beans don't fight apples. Green beans don't fight apples. G, B, D, F, and A. And here it is in treble. G, B, D, F, and A. G, B, D, F, A. Good boys do fine always. Green beans don't fight apples. And here they are stacked just to show that they are along these lines. Now that you're thinking, this one, it's kind of sticking out. It's got its own little line. As I was saying earlier, this is a ledger line. Ledger lines can go way up into the atmosphere. They are little extra lines that you put. Right here in the staff, they have provided you these 5 lines. Ledger lines can go below the staff or above the staff. And they're just little lines to show that there are multiple notes between the ones on the lines and the space. So you can go all the way up into the atmosphere as you want, within reason. And I'll explain in a different video, like ranges of instruments and such like that. And I'll explain with ledger lines. So right here, this is what it's like in treble. It sounds higher pitched because it is. So that is G, B, D, F, and A. An important thing we are going to learn is called middle C. This is middle C. This note right here, this is also middle C. Middle C is one ledger line above the staff. This is the C in bass clef. And middle C is one ledger line below in treble clef. These are the same notes. As you see, they play the same pitch. The reason is, on a piano, once you go past this B flat, or this B right here, which is below C, once you go past that B, on piano, you can start going into treble clef. Now, this is just an example to show you about how range is. Range being starting from here and it continues up. So treble clef or bass clef can continue up into treble clef, if that makes sense. If not, I can explain later in another video. Now, you can see piano parts, and there's no sprint higher than that. That's totally valid. When we get to piano, these are 2 different hands, and they're playing 2 different things. But we're not going to worry about that now. This is middle C, and as we see on the keyboard, it's not the middle of the keyboard, but C4, it's the middle. It's just the middle, and that's how you remember it, middle C. It'll come in handy once you go to different instruments, once you're asked to play middle C and stuff like that. But just keep in mind this is middle C. And I'll explain in another video if you want more on the concept of that. And I'll show an image about how this is continuing, such as starting down here in bass clef and going up into treble clef. Well, anyway, this has been a short little video on music theory. I hope you learned some. If you didn't already know this stuff, I hope you learned just a little bit. It's the basics, but again, like I said, I will be going in and diving into deeper topics once I get over the basic stuff. And everybody who wants to know music needs to know the basics. So next week, I am going to go over different things such as the clefs. I will go over different types of notes, and I will go over what we call sharps, flats, and naturals. And I will go over, there is more clefs besides these, and I'll mention them in the next video. But yeah, I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you need or if you want, just comment something I could do better, something you want to see. I'm very new to this YouTube, but I hope I educated you in some way and you know a little bit about music you didn't know before. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to watch more videos. And anyway, have a good day. Thank you. Bye, friends.